I get upset, and then I go in. I just go, look, you don't get to tell me what to do. This isn't Facebook. You can say that you're
That's a great fucking line.
And then and at the end, I just brought it back down.
Is that the? Hold on. If I'm correct, I want to get this out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's Nails Off the Rail.
Yeah, go. I'm gonna get the money that I told you guys I'm gonna make you, and you're gonna get the Nails Off the Rails. Matt's still good. I was Ron Dorland, cancer. And
Honey, can you repeat anything in English?
I'll do the
Okay,
introduction. I'm gonna take this thing, and you. If you have seen my teeth and you could locate them.
No, you found them. They were in the dumpster.
I got them. I got them. Got them right there.
Lenny.
Big Show. Big Show, how you doing?
I'm great, Lenny. I'm great. Look, Lenny, here's the thing. And if I can, are you okay? All right. So you got your teeth in?
Yeah.
Now, news came out yesterday. That you
and that one's over the fence.
No, we're not. Take your mind off. Take all 3 brain cells. I need them all locked in on me. You got it? All right, Lenny. Okay. Now I was watching this video that I saw where
when they used to have audio and you would listen instead of.
No, there's audio on video.
They added the picture, which, by the way, I'm gonna make you guys money. I'm gonna make you money. And I'm going to make this Kevin the emergency.
Well, here's the thing. You're going to make yourself money, Lenny, because you announced yesterday that you were fighting the viral sensation, and I think he really became a sensation when he did the wet spot, if I may. Chris, the Bagel Boss, Bagel Boss, forgive me. I call him Chris Morgan because he's just the regular guy. I heard him on Stern talking to our buddy Shuley. But you're going to fight.
Rails.
You all right?
Off the rails.
You all right? We heard you're going to fight Chris Bagel Boss Morton. Is that correct?
Morgan.
Sorry, Chris. You're going to fight Chris Bagel Boss.
Ding.
Now,
Ding.
you took that fight on yesterday.
Remember, you owe me one thing after this. I told you we have to box and you do a painting of it, Apollo.
No. No, that's Rocky. We have.
Ding.
You are in luck because would you believe we have Chris Bagel Boss Morgan? I almost said Morgan again. What the fuck is wrong with me? Calling in now. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line, Chris Bagel Boss Morgan. Are you there, sir?
I am. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. I would like to thank you for taking time out from your busy, your touring schedule now. Do you still have to take time to pick fights in bagel shops, or are you pretty much just on the touring circuit now, Chris?
Oh, a little of everything, And this is the Bagel Boy won the show, and I'm taking over. And I want to start off by saying, "Fuck you, Lenny."
I would say that in our language. Look, Chris. I played with.
Yeah. I might have to fucking put something in. I might have to do a headband. I'm letting the hair grow out for the holidays, and then maybe get a haircut. Welcome, happy Monday. I know it's early. It's early, but let me explain what's going on. This is going on, people, as I take a sip of my tea. I've got a 2:00 gig with my boys, just having a steak with my boys. And, it's a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a touch and go kind of week. It's the holidays. I'm sure you people have shit going on. We have shit going on, but I wanted to give you one in the can. This will be a quickie before I wander away. Tomorrow, I might Skype in from the road to the show with Fred. Fred is in studio for Better Believe It. Keanu is going to be streaming from the car ride tomorrow and doing a shit ton of content there. So you'll get a little something. And again, a lot of football. Been doing a lot of football streams lately, which is great. Was I going to say? Which is fun. It's more in my wheelhouse. I was thinking of live streaming the game tonight, but I'm doing Christmas with the old lady tonight, and we'll sit and watch Philip Rivers deliver a Christmas miracle, which is losing by less than 6. I will say this: while we wait for today's guest, it's going to be a smash and grab. It's basically a tape because I know I'm going early, and I can't imagine a lot of people are fucking in here for this dog and pony show. Oh, look at that. Blowing up the fucking YouTube with 16. And of course, where would we be without the fucking 11 faithful here? But again, it's going to be more of a live to tape for the people that come by at 3. But Altucher is coming by. Whenever I can grab James Altucher, I'm gonna get. Let me get my Christmas headband because I got my Christmas scarf. I think that's really swell. James should be here any minute. We only have him till noon because stupid Geno didn't realize he had his. I had to move my car for street cleaning because no matter how long I live here. By the way, this was a great episode. In addition to Nails Off the Rails, there was Geno's Yelp reviews started on this one. It was so good, so good. Let's give you a little more. Oh, here's Legit News Guy. Let's see what Legit News Guy was talking about, shall we? Right with you, James.
Promotion for a new venue called Aloha Snack Bar.
No, that is not correct. That's a T-shirt Garrett found online. That's a mock-up of Allah Akbar.
10% off for tourists and members of the legislature.
Now you're just trying to sell merch.
Aloha Snack Bar.
No, you're just trying to sell merch.
Get your Aloha Snack Bar T-shirts at some other website. Don't really buy them. It's a waste of money.
Now, let me ask you something.
Damn it, I wish we would have thought of that. For the love of God.
I'm a little pissed.
If anyone's got something like Aloha Snack Bar that we could turn into a shirt, I'd love to do it. Maybe the Aloha Back Bar?
No.
It's like the back of the bar.
Now what? As I was remotely professional and point out the reason I put on my Slay All Day headband before I bring on the guest, I should say. Oh my God. Oh, by the way, you're really fucking professional. Let's pretend that I'm using the right sound. There you go. There you go. Now you can even hear me right. Homer, you said it to whore. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I showed that little, well, I'll pretend it's the reason, that little merch segment, one of the greatest articles of merch ever that we had. And the idea completely goes to the man that said it, calling in one time, James Altucher, who said James Altucher, who said, good Lord, who said, I believe you were pitching. James, welcome. How are you, buddy?
I can't hear anything. So maybe I'll try logging back in.
All right, log in, log out. Look at that handsome son of a bitch. Can you log in? Can you log in and log out?
Hold on. I'm going to try logging back in.
There you go. James, again, this is classic Geno. Like, I reached out to him yesterday. He's like, I'd love to come by. I'm like, we'll do it at 11. And then fucking 10 o'clock this morning, I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot. I got to move my car. Can we do 11:30? He's like, yeah. And then Jim gets back to me, and he's like, I can only do half an hour. I'm like, just come by for half an hour if you can. Yeah, but he didn't hear us, Bob Fan of Patrice. And hopefully I sound better now that I actually put it on my – can you hear me? What the fuck is going on? Microphone, no.
Text, can you hear me now? There you go. That's way better. There, now, okay. Now you can hear me, right? Let me know that you can hear me now. It does go great with the sweater. Thank you. Homer, you said it to whore. No show at 3. Apply show with the semi-auto. There you go. So, okay, so we're waiting on James again. You know what? I'll edit this all in post. And again, this is why we have 12 people on YouTube, because I never, again, I'm so used to having someone do all this for me. And I woke up this morning. I had my coffee. I moved my car. I chatted with James. Good. I'm glad you can hear me. All right, because it's actually on the good microphone now. You had me on the tin cup microphone. Poor James. James is waiting on a call. This is all on me. So if he can't make it, it's not that big a deal. But we'll go from there. But I love having James on. I'll tell you why in a minute. We'll tease it out. Like James, shockingly, is the same. Well, he's a year older than me. He was born in January of '68. I was born in late December. Yeah, it's really going well. Let's try it again. James Altucher.
Here, Geno Bisconti. So good to see you.
Oh, you sound amazing. If it makes you feel better, they couldn't hear me on the right mic either. So again, I spent 10 minutes apologizing because I'm always last minute. How are you? Talk to me, you handsome motherfucker.
Now, are you wearing that shirt because of me, James?
I'm wearing it because it's a Christmas sweater, Jameson. As you know, that is my wheelhouse. How are you, buddy? How are you feeling today?
Good, good. I am so happy to be on here. This is how long has it been since we've seen each other? It's like 5 years at least.
God, I think the last time we chatted, do you remember? Do you remember? I guess I'm asking the chat. When you had a beef with Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, I remember it all too well.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll say it again. You were right. You were right with it. I don't know. Like refresh their memory. This was during COVID, and by the way. Let me fill you in since you left. COVID broke me, according to a lot of people, because I will say this, James, because I always try to sound intelligent in front of you, even though I feel like you're my drinking buddy. The world changed more after COVID than it did after 9/11. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the entire world physically shut down during COVID, right? 9/11, yes, worst thing ever, horrible, wars, all that, but only like 6 blocks shut down in the world. And Afghanistan. I forgot that whole country shut down.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
But New York, but the whole world shut down, and New York City most of all. I mean, New York City had the most, deaths of any city, and it was basically the entire world economy, capital shut down as well. So on top of the whole world, and in August 2020, so I was worried, correctly, that New York City would have problems. You can't just shut down a world economy and the capital of that financial world economy and not expect things to hurt a little bit afterwards. And everybody was so blind to this. Oh no, we can shut down the entire planet except for various protests that 20,000 people are going to be in Washington Square Park, but everything else is going to be shut down.
But you can't get COVID during a BLM rally. You can if you're if you're shopping though. Go on, James.
And so I was worried that New York City was blind to what was going to happen. So I wrote this article, New York City is dead forever. Here's why. By the way, when I visit New York City now, half the stores are still closed. Like I stay in Union Square. It's half the things are open. I don't know why people don't see this. And people are like, oh, traffic is back. Subway traffic is back as high as forever. It's 20% below COVID levels. Yes, it's as high as it's been since 2020. That's not an achievement. New York City is still shut down. It looks superficially like things are back up, but it's not true. I mean,
people don't see it, James, because I would argue people don't want to see it. It is that literally, I'll use terms that you use, businessman. It is literally that sunken cost fallacy. People are like, I have relatives. I have 2 relatives, but they won't let it. They're like, no. They keep getting boosters just to prove the point, rather than just admit that they shut things down. It was a huge transfer of wealth. It was a huge operation in control that's still going on. People are just like, no, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, give them outdoor seating. Everyone will be happy, and they'll ignore everything else that's going on. I mean, there's just still violent crime more than ever. Still, corporate people don't realize this. Corporate real estate has crashed in New York City, and it's not coming back. Everybody thought, oh well, let's increase taxes in New York City, and everything will be fine. No, New York City is broke. Like it needs federal money. Meanwhile, other cities are thriving. Miami, as an example, 20% higher than 2019.
Which is where you are right now, I should have pointed out. Go on.
Yes.
In case anyone wants to stalk you or take you out, go on. Tell us about Miami, my friend.
Miami, and I'm not, look, New York City is the greatest city ever, but Miami right now is 20%, traffic below, above 2019 levels is 20% higher. New York City is still 20% lower. Yes, New York City is highest since COVID. That doesn't mean it came back. It means it's still lower than it was pre-COVID. Like that's a problem. People are leaving the city. I spend half my time in New York City. My kids are there. I'm visiting all of them all the time. I have work there, so I'm always there. I grew up. I was born in New York City. My dad was born. His dad was born. Their dad was born. I'm 5 generations a New Yorker. So I don't want New York City to be dead forever. That was the whole reason I wrote that article. But people literally, like the Stand Up New York, the comedy club that I own, was vandalized. By the way, it was vandalized in pink chalk. Like some Upper West Side mom strolling her baby took out a pink chalk and said, owner hates New York City on my comedy club, like in pink chalk. Like it's, how crazy is that? Rather than actually talk about the issues, people are just like, oh no, don't say this about my city.
Yeah, and Diesel the Rottweiler's right. We'll get to that in a minute. Elections have consequences because I voted for Curtis Sliwa in the past election, and everyone's like, a vote for Sliwa is like a vote for Mamdani. You need to vote for Cuomo, and I'm like, no, I'm not voting for Cuomo. They're like, well, then Mamdani's going to win, and I said exactly what Diesel the Rottweiler, beautiful dog, I love Rottweilers, said. Then that's what they fucking deserve. Because if you want me to vote for a guy that during COVID killed elderly people, killed his voting base, stuffed them into nursing homes, then you're wrong. And I'm here. I'm here to watch it fucking burn, James.
You're so absolutely right. Is New York City's best choice, there's 8 million people in New York City, is New York City's best choice a guy who killed 80,000 elderly women? Like, is that the best we have to offer a candidate? Yeah. Like no one else?
Why couldn't he kill 80,000 young women under 30? Because those are the voters that fucking need to have their rights taken away. I'm sorry. James, am I wrong? I've said this. When someone walked out of the voting booth during the last election, they should have said, who did you vote for? And anyone that said Kamala, and then you said why, they said, because she's a girl or she's black, then you're like, well, you can't vote. And by the same token, because they'd have you believe this, anyone that walked out of the ballot booth and said, hey, who'd you vote for? Trump. Why? Because Kamala's black and she's a girl. They can't vote either. But the second one wasn't happening. I mean, your thoughts?
No, I agree with that. Like, you look at all the lying that the media did not report on, unless it was media like your show. But media just simply did not report. Like, look, the other day, these Epstein files came out. There was something like 500,000 photos of Bill Clinton hanging out on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, getting a massage from like some little girl. And the best the New York Times could do, there was like a footnote, like a little footnote at the end. So there was a photo allegedly with Bill Clinton in it. No, like they decide what news they're going to show you. And by the way, it's not like I'm like hardcore Republican. I didn't even vote in the last election. I don't vote. But it's like I'm tired. Everybody got tired of the hypocrisy. I saw this during my own media stuff, my own podcast. Everybody wanted a source for the truth. People were desperate for the truth. They realized the truth was not a commodity that they had access to. They suddenly realized they had nowhere to get the truth. Like the vaccine. I did not get vaccinated. I got COVID twice. My daughters got vaccinated and all the boosters, they got COVID 4 times each. So yeah. I'm not saying the vaccine was good or bad. I'm saying, what was the point? Like, why take the risk? And the news was the media that was allowed to report for a little while was saying, look, we don't really know what the side effects of this are. I'm not putting something in my body that has side effects. It's just common sense. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't be I know you're a surgeon, but
they moved from not knowing what the side effects are to knowing the side effects and literally putting a black box warning. Wish you had one of those in college, don't you, James? You made some mistakes. Get it? He banged black broads. So what I'm saying, James, is I miss this guy. But
I would have dated Kamala. Honestly, she was my type. Back then, she was a number, right? When she was 18, 19.
Oh, yeah. Ask Willie Brown. She was a number. She blew him a number of times. See what we did? We used
probably on Jeffrey Epstein's plate.
What's that?
Probably on Jeffrey Epstein's plate, for all we know. Like Willie Brown was a perfect candidate for Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. And by the way, getting back to what you said about the pictures and just how they swing it, they put a picture up of Trump. And of course it's Trump. It had to be 2005, and it's a picture of Trump, and they put black squares on all the women, and the right pushed back and said, "Here's the picture without the squares on their faces because they're Hawaiian tropic suntan models, but they put black squares on it so you think they're 8 years old, but they're not." It's nothing. When Trump calls it a hoax, this is what I've said, and I yield to you. If you like, when he says it's a hoax, I think he's just saying it's a hoax in terms of. The sweetheart deal that Epstein got in 2007 or 8, I can't even remember that far back because I didn't follow politics. I had a life and an even bigger drinking problem. But back then, he got such a sweetheart deal that nothing is coming out of it because all the fucking people that have standing for the case, the parents, the children, that's been, that's been not redacted, but they can't put it out. So he's saying it's hoax because nothing is going to come out of it other than more, redacted information, and no one's going to jail. So it's a hoax because Trump, in my opinion, is doing everything I voted for, with the exception of funding the Zionists. He's doing everything I voted for. That's why he calls it a hoax. Your thoughts on that, James?
By the way, I wish someone could really prove to me that Jews control the world, because I'm Jewish and I want to know where my ticket is, where I was not invited to the party. And
Yeah.
no other Jews I know were invited to the party. Where is the media that I'm supposedly in control of? I need to start flexing my power. Okay, how many more years do I have? Like, when is it? When you're 70? Do they?
You're not one of the Jews that control the world. Well, that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am thinking that I had you, Dan, my man. Yeah, and again, I joke. There's a tinge of honesty and seriousness to it. I don't think they control the weather or the world, but I think there's elites that include some Jews and a lot of just old waspy people that just control the fucking. Like I always say in my act, when someone says, who are they? And I say, they are them. And I didn't mean to use your pronouns, James, but they are fucking them. Now, how do you wind up? So are you, and I'll tag it into the Jerry Seinfeld thing, because of course you were right. Like New York's going to shit. And Seinfeld, look, he's another one, had made his millions. He didn't care. Go along to get along. But you're like, this place is going to shit. And now you're in Miami. Walk us through in the 9 minutes you have left, because I'm a terrible friend and a poor planner. Walk us through how you wound up in Miami hanging out with your old buddy Geno.
First off, for 2 solid weeks, there was like literally a million tweets a minute or so trashing me for my article. No one even read my article. Joe Rogan read my article like live on his show. Glenn Beck read the article. Rush Limbaugh, rest in peace, read the article live on his show. But everybody in New York City, nobody read the article, but they all hated me. I was literally kicked out of the city. And then I thought things had settled down. Then one day I wake up, Jerry Seinfeld wrote his first and only editorial ever, a full-page editorial in the New York Times Sunday section, and he was just trashing me. And he was basically saying, let this guy like move to Florida and just die. And meanwhile, he was writing his article from his house in the Hamptons with 600 Porsches in it. And, what was even – and he's saying, oh, people love to go to work. This guy doesn't know what people – when was the last time Jerry Seinfeld went to work? Like he said everybody wants to go to the factory floor and screw widgets in. Like what is he talking about? Nobody wants to go to work. And he's saying, oh, this guy doesn't know what New York seems to be great. Everybody wants to go back to work. No, he's an idiot. Like and then somebody on some TV show asked me, what would you do if Jerry Seinfeld was right in front of you and you could talk to him? I would just turn around and walk away. Nobody wants to talk to a dick. So yeah. But anyway.
By the way, I want to apologize for James. They're not called widgets. They're called whittle people.
I don't even know what that means, but the way you say it is funny. So
midgets, little people. I said whittle people. It wasn't that good, but I enjoyed it. Go on. But if I can tie this into, Seinfeld was the same in a way as Stern. That's when Stern lost his mind too. And he's like, just stay home and sleep on your piles and piles of millions of dollars. This is why the wealthy didn't care, because it was a transfer of wealth, and the banks were in on it. Did you see the banks? Like credit card debt went into the trillions for the first times. It's no coincidence that a lot of banks were not only mandating the vaccine, but mandating it even if you worked at home.
And guess what? 40% of all the money, the U.S. runs a printing press for their money. So 40% of all the money printed in history was printed that year.
Wow.
So and where did that money go? Okay, we're talking about tens of trillions of dollars printed that year alone. That's why we had inflation a year or two later, and the Federal Reserve had to raise all the interest rates and causing economic hardship for everyone. So you're right. That was a huge money transfer. Where did that money go? That money went into the pockets of the money flow on like a poker table. Money flows clockwise. The money flowed right into the arms of the people who were the wealthiest, who could collect the most money. So it was a robbery, and the robbery, it can't be fixed. I'm not saying the world's ending, but just like New York City is now on this slow decline that cannot be reversed, everybody's got to do the best they can to provide value, but it's hard you can't fight what's already happened. It's too late. So you have to do what's best for you and your family at this point.
I could not agree more.
I'm going to be optimistic, which is that I think the world is resilient. Humans are resilient. We've been through far worse. We've been through all these world wars and 9/11, all that. We've been through worse stuff, but it's just that this was very bad what happened, and people don't really realize it. I don't know why people want to believe, oh, this one time the government was correct about everything. That's the only time anyone's ever said that, and it's just not true.
No. No, and it wasn't just that everyone said it, just the people that wanted to go along with it and that sunken cost fallacy, they're still saying it. And when there's so many things you look back at now, and the money transfer is one of them. I lost 2 jobs, James, because of that. And the thing I always say is,
wait, it took that for you to lose you should have lost your jobs way before that. Like, that's the problem with society right there. It took you saying no to what the government was saying in the media. That was what actually broke the camel's back. It wasn't everything else you've ever said in your life that broke the camel's back. It was like, oh, don't take a vaccine. We've got get Geno the hell off the air. Not everything else.
It's James, and I miss that you did stand up for a while. I will say that's the first time I ever met you, because I had just finished reading. I'm a big fan of Pam Grout, and her books got me into yours. And I was reading The Power of No, and someone's like, "Hey, this guy wants to do a spot at Stand Up New York." I think before you bought it, I'm like, "That's James Altucher," and they go, "Yeah, his name is James." I'm like, "That's James Altucher," and.
You were the very first comedian I met there when the night I did my first show.
Yeah, and I remember you the way you did them, there's always the greatest song. I'm like, this guy's just an author, but you really enjoyed it. And I told you to come do my birthday show, and we always hit it off. And the reason, I was going through old pictures, we flew to Chicago and did I used to do the Laugh Factory there. I guess I still could. I don't fucking know. And you're like, I'm flying out. You got us a jet. We flew out there. But
that was so much fun, by the way. I loved performing there, actually.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about comedy is, it's so funny you say that, but it wasn't the broadcasting that I got fired from. I was writing a sports sheet where it was for terrestrial radio, and I would just take sports stories, and I because the radio's another, terrestrial radio's in the shitter, and they just have board operators. It's 11:57. Any minute you have to go, just let me. And again, we'll get you back.
I'm good. I postponed stuff a little.
I fucking love you, buddy. Thank you so much. But this is what really pissed me off. It's terrestrial radio. Okay. So it's just idiots that get minimum wage, but they have people like me write them funny stuff. So I would take sports stories for 7 years and just make them funny. But then when COVID hit, I started to notice, and long story short, when you look, it's athletes are trained to listen to from Pee Wee League all the way through NCAA, all the way through the pros. A lot of them just are trained. They learn to listen to their coaches, to their higher ups. They do as they're told. So let's get them all vaccinated. Let's have minimum requirements. Baseball literally had, if you were 80% vaccinated, you got more benefits than 70% vaccinated, but less than if you're 90, 100% vaccinated. And I said, and I made one joke I'll never forget. I'm like, and if you're under 70% when you show up to training camp, you have to wear a yellow band on your arm at camp. And they're like, you can't say. But the bottom line was, what they finally lost their mind was, I'm like, you understand that athletes, they want them to get vaccinated because kids look up to them. And then the kids will want to get vaccinated. And they fired me for that. Not for doing Jew or fucking black jokes about sports. Just saying, you can't say that. And I did.
Just think if once they really wanted people to do something good for themselves. Let's get all the athletes to get stem cells injected into their penis. And then that could be the role model for all the kids. We want stem cell injections right into the penis. Make that a requirement. Keep America young. And no, it's just this back. Everybody has to get a heart attack and die young.
Yeah, and that takes me to the other thing. When you left, you sold your share. You were at Stand Up New York, and clubs are another thing. Look, I'm kind of out of the comedy. I still do a lot of road stuff. This, hey, if you're in town, this Sunday? You're going to be in town for the holidays, or are you down there?
No, I'm going to be in DC on Sunday.
Dude, Sunday, December 28th, watch me shamelessly promote my annual, you're familiar with this, birthday show, buddy. My birthday show.
I'm gonna miss it.
What's that?
I'm gonna miss it. As you just mentioned, I performed there with you on your birthday, 2016, 2017.
You performed with me. No, it was a little later than that. I could look it up, but New York Comedy Club, but I keep having to move it. I'm on the run, but New York Comedy Club, these are all clubs that when the lockdown was going on, your old club, Stand Up New York. I don't know. It was during the lockdown, and you couldn't open the clubs because, again, The last thing they want to open was clubs and theaters and bars. Go on, James.
We did a show in the street one day, and there was the same day 20,000 people were protesting in Washington Square Park. We had 17 people spread out, a few people standing in the street listening to us. We were shut down by the police. There was like 18 police. There were more policemen than people in the audience and comedians there. We were shut down. 20,000 people protesting in Washington Square Park.
Yeah, they had to stop. And somebody said this. This is what you don't want. And I talk about it in my act now. Like, it's so funny. I'm like, laughter is the best medicine. It relieves stress, releases endorphins. It physically heals you. It boosts your immunity. Sure. And they didn't want people doing that. And I even say that to this day. What if they made it easier to do? Well, let me just Netflix and chill. Did you see so-and-so's new special? Get out of your house, get in a room with other people, share that fucking healing energy. But what a lot of clubs did, yours, your former club included, like during the lockdown, when they didn't want, people, doing that, gathering together and exchanging ideas in a joyful fashion, what they were like going to do a documentary. And the second they opened up and said, just make sure everyone's vaccinated, all these clubs flipped. And, they're like, yeah, just make sure you're vaccinated. You can do our club. And I'm like, fuck you. That's when I started giving out the souvenir vaccine cards. I was giving out the souvenir cards, and I'd be like, if you want one, I'll send it to you. But please make sure you don't use it for real, because they'll have Dr. Fauci and the CDC there to. No, they'll have a 17-year-old junior in high school saying, this looks good. Go in. It was all just to get people to go along. And daddy doesn't go along. That's not how daddy do, James.
Well, daddy's correct here. So that's the problem. My kids were waitresses in New York City restaurant. They were not allowed to serve anybody who didn't have a vaccine card. Meanwhile, Cuomo, let's just ship off all the elderly into one big, graveyard where they were all getting vaccinated, getting COVID, and then dying right on top of each other. No funerals allowed. Like it's like this horror show that happened.
Yeah. And then here we are. So you up and you go to Miami. You continue your life in Miami. When did you head out there?
Well, I headed out at first around the time I wrote that article, because everybody hated me and I didn't want to live in New York anymore. It's no fun living in a place where everyone's spitting in your face. And so in Miami, by the way, everybody's good looking in Miami. Everybody is healthy. Everybody's just smiling all the time because it's warm outside and they're walking around, and nobody was judging me. No one even asked about my politics. No one was judging me. No one gave a shit. They were just living their lives. Like, people need to start living their lives instead of living everyone else's life. That's the problem, is that when you start meddling in everyone else's life, you're by definition limiting everyone else's freedom. I'm not going to tell you, Geno, what to do. Okay, try not to kill people. But other than that, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Just leave me alone. I don't want to deal with all the nonsense. Oh, you got to put this chemical in your body, and then you have to stay 6 feet from everybody, even if you're in a car with the window closed.